Alrighty guys, well, it's been a few years now, but I've got an old video out on this Brunton 4.4 little solar guy. It still works pretty well, fairly efficient. It's nice because it has a cigarette adapter. It's got a test lamp, you got USB, the whole 9 yards, and accessory cables that come out, such as like charging 4 AA's. Now, it's a pretty good little package. It's fairly bulky. It's not terribly heavy, but something you really want to pack with. It's nice to keep in the truck or if you're car camping. And I went up and picked up the Brunton from REI when they were clearancing these. They were normally $230 or something. They got them down to $70, $79. I think I did a video of it previously. And it's 4 panels. And very efficient. One of the reasons I really like this guy is it goes straight to 12 volts. So not only do you have straight to 12 volts on the cigarette, and then a bunch of mini adapters, but you also can trickle charge your battery. So if you're storing a vehicle for a long time, or you're going to be away from your vehicle for a week, you can put this up in your window, hook it up to a cigarette lighter, and trickle charge your battery. I've also done a video where I'm using this in conjunction with the Duracell power pack unit, and you can set up a nice little solar charging station with the power pack in the middle of nowhere. Now, with all the the crazy gadgets and things like that we all use, cell phones and GPS and stuff like that, almost everything is going to be some sort of USB device, or it's going to be a AA power. A lot of people have gotten away from solar simply because of its convenience. You have to have a nice bright sunshiny day like we have today, and you have to be stationary. You can put it on the outside of your pack, but if you're not in the open and you're going through trees, it's really not that affordable. Now, if time allows, you can certainly set up base camp, charge things, but a lot of people have gone towards some sort of portable power. Now, as technology goes, this thing was pretty good in its day. It actually had its own mini inverter. You could plug a 110 house into it, but it has since sort of crapped out. It's not really holding the charge anymore. Besides that, technology has allowed things to go lighter. There is the Brunton units, the small little power pack, so a lot of people like that, simply because most of the time all they're doing is charging a cell phone or an iPod, some sort of USB device. So it's not convenient to carry a solar charger and to sit for 4 hours while it charges. Enter in the new guy on the block. They're not totally new, but they're being pretty inventive. They're definitely using sort of the latest technology, latest in solar cells, is Goal Zero. And this is one of the smallest units they make. You'll actually see a lot of their equipment go out to disaster relief. This is called the Nomad 7. It is a 2-panel. But you also notice the panels are larger than the 4 smaller ones here on the Brunton. So as technology goes, they've just got a nice, this one's a little bit more flexible, a little more forgiving. This one is a little bit harder shell, but it is weather resistant. You wouldn't want to dunk this, but it pulls out the same wattage amperage as the Brunton does, in almost half the size. Over here it also has its own setup for USB. This is their own plug-in here that I'll show you a little bit later. It goes with the Guide 10, and then you can go straight to its own 12 volt adapter for anything that's not USB. Where this really shines is when you pull the Nomad 7 in conjunction with this guy. This guy is called their Guide 10. You can get these packaged, which I did early on. You couldn't buy this separately anywhere, so I actually picked up the whole package. It's called the Adventure 10, I believe. But the Guide 10 and the Nomad 7 you can purchase separately now. Early on, this wasn't available. And I know what you're saying, this is almost the exact same thing as this. A couple things. When you feel this, it feels like cheap plastic. It's very bulky. Take a look at the sideways view there. You can almost get 2 Adventure 10s or Guide 10s for the one here of the Brunton. A couple other things it does. One, it does have an insert to allow AAAs. I'm trying to move everything over into AA's. One of the initial reasons I bought this kit was for the Pacific Crest Trail, and I wasn't sure if I'd bring the solar unit with you. But what Goal Zero has done with the Guide 10 is not only do you have the kind of rugged aircraft cable, I kind of like the way that looks. If you look over here, and I know this camera doesn't zoom in very well, I've got an input to allow straight from the solar to go in there. You can go USB, mini USB, to any USB device that way. That way you can charge it off of a laptop or anything else. Sometimes a lot of the cell phones nowadays come with a little stubby 110 to USB, so you could charge it that way. And then it has a USB out. It also has a little light, which is kind of handy, but probably wouldn't use it too much. A very smart charger. It knows whether you're getting a trickle charge or a full charge. It has slow blinking, slow green blinking, fast green blinking, and solid green. So you kind of know where you're at with the power. It's not just an on and off sort of cold. I either have power or I don't have power. It did come with its own iCAD rechargeables, which have been seeming to be doing pretty well. And it was about 3.5 to 4 hours in the full sun. And you know, when you set these up, you got to check it about every hour. You kind of got to move it, you know, at an angle to get really proper good light. But over in Eastern Oregon, it wasn't an issue. Now, because this isn't just a AA charger, now this allows me to, let me grab all my cables over here off camera. Because it has USB out, I'm now using the 4 AA's that I charged during the day as a power pack, just like I would here. Now I can certainly pull these out and put the AA's into something, but what if I'm using an iPod or my smartphone? Especially smartphones are doing a lot of things nowadays. Even the Spot Help Messenger does Bluetooth off of your Android phone. So now, turn this on. Now I'm getting charged, if you can see that, off of the 4 AA's. So I could do this at night. You know, I don't have to sit and wait 4 hours for this to charge my cell phone. Anything USB, I can now charge off the 4 AA's. And I really think it's a slick system. It was one extra step that they went, because otherwise you could carry one of the smaller, newer Brunton lithium-ion portable setups and probably charge that off of your solar. But when you're carrying like GPS and headlamps and things like that that are going to need AA's anyway, and you're probably going to carry spares, so really the weight is only the weight of the charger. Now I noticed this did get pretty warm when I was charging like my cell phone completely dead, but that's, you know, it seemed to be working pretty well. I've had it about 3 weeks now, and used it on a couple outings, done a lot of testing, sort of backyard testing, to see how it would work. But so far I'm really happy with it, and I've avoided a lot of the bulk. In here in the Nomad 7, there is a little setup here. I can actually plug this in and have it charging while it's in there. I shove this portion into the top part of my pack, and then this part hangs off the pack, and I strap that to the top lid or the back. So I did try it that way. It's not super convenient. I didn't notice the AA's charged, you know, fairly quickly that way, simply because I'm on the move all the time. But when I would stop for lunch, I'd set this up, let it charge it up, and it was enough to keep the phone charged. So neat little system. I got this at REI. I actually used my dividend, and I got a 20% off their regular priced item. So I actually only paid $6.95 for this. That's $7. So it was sort of an impulse buy. You know, I've got other solar units, but man, I tell you, having sort of the newer technology and the way they set that up so that I can utilize all the AA's as a storage unit of power to charge at night, to charge things that don't take AA, I think it was a very cool system.